Primate opens with a warning that this trip is doomed before it even begins. On a quiet property in a remote part of Hawaii, a veterinarian steps into the enclosure of a chimpanzee that once behaved like a member of the family. The animal seems to have vanished. Then it comes out of hiding and attacks with horrifying force. In seconds, the vet is dead, and the movie makes one thing very clear. This is not a story about a wild animal in the jungle. It is about something far worse. A trusted pet raised inside a home is now a killer, and everyone who still loves him is trapped close enough to die. The film then jumps back 36 hours earlier. Lucy Pimbrough is flying home to Hawaii after spending years away at college. She's not coming back to some ordinary beach house. Her family home sits against a cliff, modern and isolated, the kind of place that looks beautiful until you realize how far it is from help. Lucy is not alone. Her best friend Kate is with her, but Kate has also brought along Hannah, a girl Lucy does not really like and definitely did not invite. On the plane, they also meet two young men, Drew and Brad, who are eager to turn the trip into a party. When they land, Kate's brother Nick joins them for the drive. Lucy arrives home to a tense reunion. Her father, Adam Pimbrough, is a famous deaf novelist who communicates mostly through sign language. Her younger sister Erin is colder than everyone else and clearly hurt that Lucy has been gone so long. The family is still carrying the loss of Lucy and Erin's mother, who died the year before. That grief hangs over everything in the house. Then the movie introduces Ben. Ben is the family chimpanzee, and at first he is not presented like a monster at all. He is intelligent, expressive, and deeply attached to the people who raised him. Lucy's mother was a linguistics professor, and before she died she taught Ben to use a custom soundboard on a tablet so he could communicate with simple phrases. Ben knows the family, he responds to them, he remembers routines. When Lucy gives him a teddy bear, he reacts with the kind of joy that makes it easy to see why this family let him become such a big part of their lives. That early warmth is important because the movie wants us to understand that Ben is not evil. He is sick. Later that night, Adam notices something wrong. He finds a dead mongoose in Ben's enclosure and sees that Ben has been bitten. The bite worries him, but he does not panic enough. He decides to take the mongoose for testing the next morning and asks the veterinarian, Doug Lambert, to stop by and check on Ben after Adam leaves for a book signing. That choice feels minor in the moment, but it sets the whole disaster in motion. While Adam is away, the younger group settles into vacation mode. They drink, flirt, and hang out by the dramatic infinity pool that sits near the edge of the cliff. The house is beautiful, open, and expensive, but its design slowly starts to feel like a trap. Huge windows, long drop-offs, and isolated rooms all become threats once the attack starts. As the sun goes down, Doug arrives to look at Ben. By now the infection has already taken hold. Ben kills him in one of the movie's most brutal scenes, then escapes the enclosure and disappears into the dark. That night, Kate wakes up and sees Ben wandering strangely through the house. He is still recognizable, but something is very wrong. He is not curious or playful anymore. He is disoriented, twitching, and staring with a kind of empty aggression. Kate alerts Lucy and the tension snaps into place. Ben vanishes again before they can react. Lucy then finds the teddy bear she gave him, and it is stained with blood. That is the moment when denial starts to die. The group hears noise from the pool area and rushes outside. Ben is there with Nick and Hannah, already behaving like a threat. For one brief moment, Lucy manages to calm him because some part of the old connection is still there. Lucy and Nick try to restrain him with a rope, hoping they can control the situation without hurting him. It is a terrible idea, but it makes emotional sense. Ben is not just an animal to Lucy. He is family. She cannot switch that feeling off fast enough. The rope fails. Ben explodes into violence, bites through it, and turns the whole area into a killing ground. He attacks Erin and bites her leg, which means there is now another emergency on top of the first one. Everyone throws themselves into the pool because Ben will not go into the water. He is hydrophobic now, one of the clearest signs that the mongoose gave him rabies. That detail creates one of the film's smartest survival ideas. The pool becomes the only safe place, but it is also a prison. The group is stuck in the water while Ben circles them like a shark that can climb. Nick sees a chance when Ben moves close to the edge facing the cliff. He tries to shove him off, but Ben is too strong. In an instant, Nick is the one thrown over. He crashes onto the rocks below and dies, and from that moment onward, the movie stops pretending anyone is safe. Ben is not only savage now, he is stronger and faster than the panicked people trying to outthink him. The survivors cling to the pool as long as they can. Ben keeps packing the edge and finding ways to injure them whenever they drift too close. Lucy eventually grabs a large inflatable float, giving the group a little more protection and some place to rest. It is one of the film's cruelest stretches because their best survival strategy is not fighting back. It is waiting in freezing fear while a rabid chimp watches for weakness. When daylight comes, Ben is gone and the silence feels even worse than the screaming did. Lucy and Kate decide they have to risk going inside to find a phone. The house that looked so polished earlier now feels like a maze built for ambushes. They move room to room, hoping Ben has gone somewhere else. Instead, he finds them first. Kate is killed with shocking speed when Ben smashes her head with a rock. The film uses that death to show how clever he still is. Ben is not mindlessly biting. He is using objects and the layout around him. Away from the house, Adam receives word that the mongoose tested positive for rabies. At first he struggles to believe it because Hawaii is supposed to be free of the disease. Then he notices that Lucy is no longer answering him. He abandons the meeting that could have advanced his career and heads home. That decision says a lot about him. Whatever emotional distance there is in the family, he understands something is wrong and chooses his daughters over everything else. Back at the house, the situation gets even worse because Drew and Brad show up, completely unaware of what is waiting for them. They had been invited earlier when the trip still felt fun. Now they are walking into a slaughter. Ben corners Drew inside Lucy's bedroom and tears off his jaw. Brad finds the others outside but does not survive long either. Ben attacks him with a shovel and kills him in one of the film's ugliest moments. These deaths matter because they close off any fantasy that outside help is coming in time. Every new arrival just becomes another body. Hannah finally manages to get into the house and grab a phone and car keys. This should be the smartest move anyone has made so far. She runs to a vehicle, calls emergency services, and begs for help. But in her panic she gets into the wrong car. Ben, still horribly intelligent under the disease, uses the correct key fob to get in and mauls her before rescue can arrive. It is one of the darkest scenes in the movie because Hannah is seconds away from survival and still dies trapped in a space that should have saved her. By the time Adam gets home, the property has become a nightmare scene. Lucy is injured, Aaron has been bit, and the house is covered in blood and shattered glass. Adam does not freeze. He starts fighting immediately, using whatever is near him while trying to communicate under impossible pressure. Lucy and Aaron help him, and for the first time the fractured family starts working as one unit. They stab Ben with a broken wine bottle and finally seem to bring him down. For a brief moment, everyone believes it is over. Adam, Lucy, and Aaron embrace in shock and grief. It is the kind of pause horror movies love because it gives the audience 1 second of hope before ripping it away. Ben is not dead yet. He attacks Lucy and sends both of them over a balcony. Adam manages to save Lucy, but Ben falls and is impaled below on a broken chair leg. This time there is no coming back. Only after the killing stops do the police and medical teams arrive, able to find the house because Hannah managed to reach emergency services before she died. Aaron is rushed to the hospital because of the bite, and the surviving family members are left standing in the wreckage of their home, trying to process the fact that the animal they raised is gone, and so are most of the people who came there with Lucy. Then the movie leaves us with one last unsettling beat. A police officer collects Ben's soundboard as evidence and accidentally triggers a saved phrase. The device says Lucy bad. It is a small moment, but it lands hard. The phrase could mean several things. Maybe Ben learned it during some older family conflict. Maybe it reflects his confusion when Lucy left home for years. Maybe it means nothing clear at all. But the line turns the ending from simple survival into something sadder and stranger. Ben was not just a threat. He was a creature shaped by grief, illness, and years of blurred boundaries between pet and person. What makes Primate work is that the movie keeps the setup simple while turning the emotions underneath it into something messy. Lucy comes home carrying guilt for staying away. Aaron resents being left behind. Adam is trying to keep the family standing after losing his wife. Ben is not a random animal in the woods. He's part of the household, almost like another child, and that makes every attack feel personal in a way a normal creature feature usually does not. The film also gets a lot of tension out of the location. The cliffside house is supposed to be a dream home, but once the attack starts, it becomes a machine for isolation. The pool is both refuge and trap. The wide windows make it easy to see danger coming but hard to hide from it. The remote setting means every decision has to work right now because there is no quick rescue. By the end, Primate becomes less about defeating a monster and more about surviving the collapse of trust inside a family space. The thing killing people is not something alien. It is something they fed, taught, and loved. That is what gives the movie its nasty edge. Every time Lucy hesitates, we understand why. Every time someone tries not to hurt Ben, it feels heartbreaking instead of foolish. So Primate ends with Lucy, Adam, and Aaron still alive, but with almost everyone else dead and their home turned into a graveyard. Ben is gone, yet the final sound from his tablet makes sure he lingers in the room anyway. This was supposed to be a homecoming. Instead, it becomes a long night where grief, guilt, and sickness tear through a family until all they can do is hold on and hope morning comes before they die.